Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we'll be talking about Heap sort algorithm. So it is a sorting algorithm, and I have pulled up Wikipedia here so you can see how this thing works. There is a GIF here, uh, and the worst case and the best case are all are written here basically. So the average performance and the worst case are both similar. Also the best case, all of them are the same value, all of them are the same big O here, but there are cases where it's O of n. So anyway, so moving on, so I'll be talking about the simulation here rather than the algorithm so you can understand it better. So the algorithm is out there in the internet in different websites like Geek for Geeks and others, so watch that while you're watching the video, so it's easier for you guys to understand. So let's try to write down a array so we can sort that. So let's say we are given this array to work with, and now we have to sort them using heap sort. So what do? We try to put this whole array into a tree format. So how do we do that? So we start from the top, so 11, then a tree has two branches, so one is 2 here and another one is 8. Then 2 would have 2 branches, one is 1 here and 6 here, and then 8 would have another branch which is 9. So this is a binary tree. So remember, in binary we have only 0 and 1, so 2 options, right? So here we only have 2 options for each value here, so 2 and 8 for 2, 1 and 6, similar like that. So hope you guys did understand how the tree making process works. So let's move on in doing the sorting. So before that, you have to understand two things. So heap sort has two functions that we need to know. So max heap is responsible for swapping the highest value of the tree with the last value of the unsorted array. So we'll be looking into that, and Heapify finds the largest value of the array and puts it in the parent position. So these are the parents and these are your children, right? So this parent has these two children and this parent has these two children, right? So anyways, moving on, so let's try to sort the whole thing in. So this is our initial array, so I'll be showing the simulation here, so that's why the arrows are here. So first of all, we call the Heapify function. So what this function does, it puts the highest values in the parent position. So 11 is already the highest value in the array, right? So it's already in the top position, so that's all good. So for this portion, the highest value is 6, so we put 6 at the parent and 1 here and 2 at the old position of 6, right? And for this portion, we have the highest value 9, so we put 9 as the parent and 8 as the children. Then we call the max heap function. So what that does is it swaps the places of the last value of the unsorted array with the max value. So we are basically swapping these two positions, so here and here. So let's try to do that. So as we are swapping, so 8 would be up there, and 11 would be here. So what would the array look like now? So the array would, let's try to traverse the whole tree. So it would be 8, then we go for 6, then 9, then 1, then 2, then 11. See, 11 is like the highest value in the whole array, right? So it's already in the last position, so this portion is already sorted. So let's use a better color here so it's easier for you to understand it. So 11 is already sorted, so let's move on and do the same thing. We call Heapify again, and what would that do? It would put the highest values in the parent position. So in this array, in this tree that we have constructed right now, so here the highest value. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention is that then we discard 11. So 8 is in the top position, so 6 and 9. So 11 is already sorted, right? It's in the last position, so we don't need to work with 11 anymore. So 11 is out of the count. So moving on, so we do the same thing that we did before. We call Heapify, and which would put the highest value in the parent position. So for this whole case, which is the highest value, 9, right? So 9 would be the parent, and 8 would go to the ninth position, and 6 is already the highest among these three. So this would be the case. Then we do the max heap, like changing the top position with the last position of the unsorted array. So which means 2, because the 2 is the last position of the unsorted array, right? So we would have 2 here and 9 here. So let's do that. So 2 would be here, and 9 would be in this spot. So let's try to traverse the whole tree again and make the array. So it would be 2, 6, 8, 1, 9, and we already had 11 before. So we can see that this whole thing is now sorted. Like the last two portions are sorted. So now we discard 9, because we are done with 9. It's already in a sorted position, right? So we don't need 9 anymore. So from this array we do Heapify again, and we can see that 8 is the largest value in this tree, so we put 8 as the parent and swap places with 2. So this is what we have now. Then we do the same process again. We call max heap. So what does max heap do? Max heap changes, like swaps places with the last position of the unsorted array. So this whole portion is unsorted, right? So we swap places with the unsorted array, the last position of it, so with 1. So what would we have here? We would have 1 at the top, and 8 at the position of 1. So what would the array look like now? So first 1, then 6, then 2, then 8. We had 9 and 11 before. So we have 8, 9 and 11 in a sorted position. Then we just discard 8. So we would only have 1, 6 and 2. So we call Heapify again. So this is a recursive process. So the whole algorithm is recursive. So to me, recursion was like really difficult. So try to practice this and like code it in whatever language you prefer. Then it would be like much easier for you guys to understand. So we call Heapify again. So Heapify puts 6 as a parent and 1 in its old position. So this is what happens. Then we call max heap, which exchanges the value with the last value of the unsorted array. So just 2 here. So we would have 2 at the top and 6 here and 1 on the left side. Then what do? We discard the last position. So okay, so in this case, what would be the array here? so it would be 2 1 6. So this is a 1, so 6, then we would have 8 9 and 11. So 8 9 and 11. So again this 6 8 9 and 11 are in a sorted position. Then what did we do? We discarded the sorted value, so it would be 2 and 1 only, right? 6 is discarded. The 6 has already been sorted, we don't need to work with 6 anymore. So then we do Heapify again, so to put the highest value as the parent, but it's in already at the parent, so we don't need to change anything. Then we do max heap. So what max heap does is exchange the value with the last value of the unsorted array. So 2 and 1 would exchange their places, so 1 would be at the top and 2 would be at the bottom. So now the array looks like this. So it's 1 2 6 8 9 11. So it's already sorted, right? So the whole thing, but you're still gonna do it, do the process that we were doing. So we discard 2, we only have 1. So as we have only one value, so a one value is sorted by itself, right? So thus we have a complete sorted array. So the process of heap sort is kinda really easy in my eyes. The recursion process while you are doing your code might be a bit tricky, but with practice it's gonna be okay, you don't have to worry about that. So hope you guys liked it. If you have any questions or suggestions on this video or any other video, feel free to comment down below, and thank you for watching.